Okay, time for this week's college football picks. Been doing pretty well with the college football picks over the last couple of weeks. 3-1 last week puts us at 12-7 on the year. So starting to stack up some profits. Unfortunately, we're almost out of time. Can you believe it's already week 9 of the college football season? Unbelievable and a little depressing, quite frankly, if you're a big college football fan like me. But we've got a good slate of games on tap for this weekend. Now, there are only 2 games I'm getting involved in this weekend. Only 2 games I'm having a bet on. There were a couple other games I was close to pulling the trigger on, but decided to go with these 2. Now I feel very strongly about both these games. I think we have an excellent chance of winning both these games. So if you haven't gotten involved yet, if you're on the fence, hey, ride with me. Now, no guarantees. I'm not giving out my address. I don't want anybody showing up with torches and pitchforks if I get this wrong. But again, feel very strongly about both of these games. Feel we have an excellent chance to have another profitable weekend here, or another profitable Saturday anyway, with these 2 college football bets. Want to start with Georgia Tech hosting BYU. Georgia Tech currently listed as a 2.5-point favorite on BETDAQ, 51 the total. Neither one of these teams are very good. BYU at 4-4 on the year, Georgia Tech at 3-4. But I do like the Yellow Jackets at home here as 2.5-point favorites. BYU is so bad on offense. I've seen this team play several times this year. And they are tough on defense, especially in the front 7, but they cannot score. Now, I'm aware of the fact that Georgia Tech has one of the worst defenses in major college football. At least they did before last week. Remember, before last week's game against Boston College, Georgia Tech had a bye. During that bye, they fired Al Groh, their defensive coordinator, and they responded last week with easily their best defensive game of the season. I mean, Boston College, and I know Boston College is bad on offense, but still, Boston College only had 3 points late in the third quarter of that game. I mean, Georgia Tech was allowing, Middle Tennessee a couple of weeks ago went up and down the field on Georgia Tech. So had to be encouraging for Georgia Tech fans to see this defense finally stop somebody, or at least for most of the game they stopped Boston College last week. And BYU is every bit as limited on offense as Boston College is. So I see no reason why Georgia Tech won't continue and have a little bit more success this week on defense. You can tell I'm hesitant in saying that because I've seen this Georgia Tech defense this year, and they are so bad. So you're not going to confidently say, oh, Georgia Tech's going to have more success on defense this week. But the BYU offense is just as bad as the Georgia Tech defense is. So I'd be surprised if BYU scores any more than 17, 20, 24 points in this game because they haven't been able to score more than that really all season. And the Georgia Tech offense is going to score more than that. I know BYU is good on defense, but this triple option offense Georgia Tech runs, I mean, nobody can stop it. There hasn't been a team since Paul Johnson has been the coach of Georgia Tech that has provided the blueprint for stopping this offense. Really, the offense only stops when they stop themselves. All season, they've been very reliable, this offense has. And BYU, I've mentioned a couple of times, they have a good front 7 on defense, but they haven't faced any offense like this Georgia Tech triple option attack. BYU's struggled on the road this year. They're 0-3 on the road. This will be their 2nd straight road game. They had a tough, close road loss last week to Notre Dame. So you'd think there's a little bit of an emotional letdown after nearly winning that game against the undefeated Irish. Now going on the road to face a 4-loss Georgia Tech team, and they're really going to be hit upside the head with this offense because, like I said, this offense is night and day from what they saw last week in Notre Dame and really different from anything they see. I mean, unless you're used to playing a triple option, it can really surprise you. And BYU has had no time to prepare, just 6 days now since that Notre Dame game. So I think BYU is going to have all kinds of trouble stopping this Georgia Tech offense. And I don't think BYU is going to be able to produce enough points themselves because they haven't been able to produce many points all season. So I do like Georgia Tech minus 2.5 in this game. I feel that Georgia Tech struggles this season. The fact that they have a losing record, the fact they lost to Middle Tennessee 3 weeks ago, I feel this is what is keeping this line at a very reasonable 2.5. So I'm on Georgia Tech this week. The other game, the game I like even more, my favorite game of the weekend, Oklahoma hosting Notre Dame. Oklahoma currently listed as a 12-point favorite on BETDAQ, 47.5 the total. I understand that Notre Dame is undefeated. I understand that Notre Dame has been one of the stories, if not the story of college football this year. However, Oklahoma is going to be able to name the score in this game on Saturday night. Notre Dame is not going to be able to compete with this team, I don't believe. Notre Dame, extremely limited on offense. I feel like I just said the same things about BYU, but a lot of the same things you said about the BYU offense, you can say about Notre Dame. They really struggle to pass the ball. Everett Golson apparently going to start this game. don't have much faith in him, don't have much faith in Tommy Rees, the veteran who they've brought off the bench several times this year, sort of playing the closer role. Basically, what that means is when Brian Kelly watches his offense being able to produce absolutely nothing for 3 quarters, he goes to Tommy Rees in the 4th quarter in hopes that Rees can produce something. And frequently, Rees has been able to produce just enough. Now, a 4th quarter touchdown or 17 or 20 points like this Notre Dame offense has been scoring this year, that is not going to be enough against Oklahoma. I recognize Notre Dame has good defense this season, especially in the front 7, but they haven't really been challenged in the secondary, haven't played a lot of teams who can really throw the ball. Oklahoma can throw the ball, and even though this Oklahoma offense got off to a little bit of a slow start to the season, they've picked it up here over these last couple of weeks. Last 3 games, Oklahoma has scored 41, 63, and 52 points. They have it rolling. Now, do I think Oklahoma is going to be able to put up 52 points on Notre Dame? No, I do not. I give the Notre Dame defense more credit than that. But Oklahoma is going to top 30 in this game, and I don't think Notre Dame's offense is going to sniff 20. So I think Oklahoma wins this one in a blowout. This line has moved in the Oklahoma direction steadily all week in Vegas, up to 11.5 most places in Vegas now. Again, it is 12 on BETDAQ. I still don't think that is enough. I think Oklahoma wins this game really, really big. So there you have it. I know there are only 2 games this weekend, but I feel strongly about both games. I like Georgia Tech at home, -2.5 against BYU, and I like Oklahoma at home, -12 against Notre Dame. I wish you the best of luck this Saturday, and whatever you decide to do, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests.